Our industry is moving faster than ever. Where are freight volumes headed? How will this affect capacity? And of course, what's the newest technology that can benefit your business? Those questions and many more will be answered at the industry's hottest freight tech conference this November in Chicago. Come join us at FreightWaves Live November 12th and 13th at the McCormick Center. Visit FreightWavesLive.com to register.
Welcome to your Monday edition of FreightWaves Now. Super excited to have Zach Strickland talking about the brokerage update today. But first, let's hear from Nick Austin with the weather update.
Welcome to FreightWaves Weather, your Monday edition. I'm FreightWaves meteorologist Nick Austin. I have a couple of things to talk about today, at least a couple of major problems as far as weather across the lower 48 states. And the first place we're going to go is out in the Rocky Mountains. Yes, it's getting to that point in the season where they're going to start getting several rounds of snow, maybe one every week, and they're going to be used to that. But the storm that's hitting the Rockies today and also tonight, it's going to dump a lot of heavy snow in some of the high elevations, but what it's really going to do that could be record-breaking are the temperatures behind this storm. It's going to be bad enough trying to drive on some of the roads and some interstate stretches from Montana, even Idaho, all the way down to Colorado and even the Denver metro area. But most areas aren't going to see a ton of snow, but enough to cause a little bit of trouble. But record low temperatures possible behind this storm for the next few mornings. We're talking about temperatures getting below zero in some of the coldest spots in the Rockies for the next few mornings, and high temperatures struggling to get out of the single digits in the teens above zero. So you're going to need a lot of that winter additive in the diesel, a lot of cold weather, possibly record cold weather across this region. Now, some of that heavy snow is going to move in the parts of the Midwest as we head into tonight and early tomorrow, but a potentially bigger and stronger snowstorm for parts of the plains in the Midwest coming for Wednesday and Thursday. But most of that heavy snow should be north of Chicago, but could hit some other metro areas and parts of Wisconsin and other areas of the plains back towards Des Moines as well, or at least areas just to the south of Des Moines. So we'll keep an eye on that storm, but a lot of interstates from the Midwest down into the plains for Wednesday and Thursday going to be pretty messy. Some spots could see up to a foot of snow from that storm later in the week as we head towards the Halloween holiday. Now, over in California, we're talking about lack of rain, very, very dry conditions, very low afternoon humidities continuing for the next few days, and more wildfires could pop up, and the ones that are out there right now could spread even more out of control. The crews are having a really tough time across the state containing wildfires. That's for Northern California from San Francisco northward, and also the Los Angeles metro area. So not only a problem with thick smoke here and there, possible interstate and other road closures, but because of the strong winds here and there, the gusts up to 50, 60, even 70 miles an hour in some spots, there could be delays with air cargo too, with planes not being able to take off or land from several airports from the LA region and also up in parts of Northern California, San Francisco, and maybe even the Sacramento Valley area up there in Northern California. So problems continuing out there for the next few days out in California, and some of that wildfire threat could spread into interior portions of the western U.S. Later in the week as well. The last thing is super cyclonic storm Kiar. That's right, this is out in the Arabian Sea. Winds of 150 miles per hour right now. Will weaken over the next few days. So again, ocean cargo, these lanes out here, possibly some problems there. And as it gets closer to the Arabian Peninsula in the country of Oman over the next few days, it will weaken, but there could be some at least local and regional supply chain problems on the Arabian Peninsula later this week with some gusty winds and possibly some really high waves again along this coast as we head towards Thursday and Friday of this week. That's what you need to know about your weather for today, so have a great Monday. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel and be careful out there.
Welcome to your Monday Carrier Update, sponsored by Powerfleet. My name is Kyle Cunningham. Thanks so much for joining me today. Let's talk about some national volume levels and the importance of what's going on inside here. Long hauls are going to be the winner yet again in terms of all the freight moving across the country, followed by the tweeners. Then you've got your mid hauls, your short hauls, and your city hauls. But let's take a look at some important markets where you're going to have the most favorability. Of course, Bismarck, North Dakota, and Fargo holding in. Not a lot of capacity up there, but Little Rock, Arkansas, and Fayetteville as well. Almost 1 out of every 5 outbound contracted tenders being rejected. In regards to the shorter side, Kansas City at 10%, North Platte, Nebraska 11.81. So the middle of the country is going to provide you some favorability as well. Moving over to the Pacific Northwest, in regards to reefer outbound freight, Portland, Oregon here, 20% on the outbound reefer rejection. So that's 1 out of every 5 refrigerated contracted tenders being rejected, indicating there's a lot of optionality. You can see here within the last couple of weeks, all the way up to almost 30%, at 20% right now, probably going to keep rolling up. Watch for this one to turn back down quickly though. As quick as it comes up, it'll come back down. Even when it comes back down, it stays around 10%. So Portland reefer market, one to watch. In regards to reefer inbound volume, a little bit more inbound capacity competition over your outbound, but still nearly close, nearly staying the same. Inbound into Dubuque, huge rejections up. Carriers just don't want to go in there, but when they do get in there, if they do, the outbound rejections are also trending way up as well. Outbound rejections in Dubuque implying that optionality, 15%. Inbound rejections, 16.79. What's the reasoning? Well, if we take a look at the inbound volume, still going to have way more inbound capacity than the outbound, not by much. No change over the weekend, but as it stands now, Dubuque, big moves up and down all the time. Watch for this one to come back down kind of pretty soon here. Hey, thanks so much for watching your carrier update. We'll see you again tomorrow.
Hey everyone, and welcome to this Monday, October 28th brokerage update. Just wanted to give everyone a quick update on the tender rejections in the country. So looking behind me, these are the outbound tender rejection weekly changes. So anything in the dark blue is going to be increasing rate pressure. These are the places that you want to make sure that all your managed transportation is covered first, as well as checking the spot market for any potential high paying loads. Los Angeles still showing increases week over week. Up here in the Pacific Northwest, still potatoes and apples kicking off up there. A lot of reefer rejections going on. Arkansas as well. Little Rock, Arkansas blowing up, as well as Jacksonville. Let's take a look into some of these markets right now. Behind me, I have the market volatility map in Sonar. And you see anything in the top here is going to say these are the anomalous increases in tender rejection rates. Little Rock, Arkansas, Albuquerque, Roanoke, Virginia, all showing huge volatile moves this week in terms of increasing rejection rates. Over here I have the chart for the Little Rock, Arkansas market. So you see this big old tree, big jump in tender rejections there in Arkansas. Make sure that you definitely look to your Arkansas market, cover all your shippers right there today first thing. Next up, tender rejections in Albuquerque. Albuquerque has spiked. It is not a big market, however. 0.17, this flat line down here, is the outbound tender market share value. So 0.17, really small market, not a big deal unless you have a shipper there or maybe a potential high-paying load that's coming out of Albuquerque today. So check there for any kind of increasing activity. I also wanted to jump in and show volume. So volume starting to really pick up in some of these markets. Overall, the country still in a muted pattern as we enter the end of October. Expect that to change here shortly, but look at the Detroit market here. GM auto strike just ended this week, or this past week. Volumes picked right back up where they left off before the strike, even a little bit higher. So anybody involved in the auto transportation sector really needs to pay attention to their freight today, as well as through the week, because regional disruptions are likely to occur. That'll do it for your brokerage update.
Well, that's it for Monday's edition of FreightWaves Now. Thanks so much for watching. If you're on YouTube, make sure you hit like and subscribe, and be sure to follow us on all our social media channels, whether that's LinkedIn, Facebook, or Twitter, and we'll see you tomorrow.